In the heart of the galactic core, where the stars burned brighter and older than anywhere else, the Zelvar Dominion's most advanced machine blinked out of existence. It wasn't supposed to fail. The Aegis Array was a marvel, a planetary shield grid stretching across the industrial world of Velcris Prime. Designed by the greatest engineers of the Varnic Collective, powered by the hyper-ore of a neutron star, and updated constantly by the AI minds of the Kshal, it was impenetrable. That is, until it failed. When it went down, entire fleets moved in. Pirate armadas, rival empires, and scavenger races all saw the same opportunity. Velcris, rich in resources and strategic value, lay open and unguarded. For the Galactic Council, the failure was catastrophic. Meetings were held. Blame was passed. Engineers scrambled through mountains of data. But the tech refused to reboot. The AI went silent. The neutron core became inert. Every species that had contributed to the Aegis stared at their hands in disbelief. Except humanity. Earth had joined the Galactic Council late, only a few decades ago. Their tech was considered crude, redundant, and annoyingly redundant. Who used manual override switches in the era of quantum AI? Who still ran analog backups? The Council laughed behind their backs. But now, as Velcris burned and billion-credit systems failed to even send a distress ping, a single human representative stood from his seat in the panic chamber. "We'll handle it," said Captain Maya Rourke of Earth's Emergency Intervention Corps. Silence fell. The Kshal delegate blinked all 6 eyes. "Human, the Aegis is far beyond your capacity. You do not even operate on hyperlight frequencies." Rourke smirked. "No. But we operate on something older, reliability." The HFY Resolute, a human-built vessel, wasn't sleek. It wasn't beautiful. It had no AI core and no quantum NAV system. But it had redundancy, armor, and a human crew trained for exactly this kind of mess. The Resolute dropped out of warp over Velcris Prime, bypassing the crippled security satellites using optical targeting. Enemy fleets were already circling like vultures. Maya didn't hesitate. Deploy blackout drones. Jam everything except TIE beam. Let's buy ourselves 20 minutes. The enemy was confused. No fancy signature. No AI pings. Just an old-fashioned, signal-deaf brick falling from the stars and jamming everything in sight. By the time they realized it was a human ship, the Resolute had already landed. The surface was chaos. Factories burned. Civilians screamed. Automated systems had all shut down, including power, security, and life support. Humanity's engineers began moving like ants through the husk of the planet's systems. And with them something strange. They didn't try to fix the Aegis Array. They ignored it. Instead, they began laying down their own system. Bulky generators, backup reactors, thousands of meters of copper cable. Everything ran off. Fossil fuel reserves, chemical batteries, and fission cells. The alien observers watching remotely were horrified. They're rebuilding the shield grid with 20th century tech? Yes. And it was working. The pirates arrived first, confident they could bypass anything humans put up. But the human defense net, crude as it was, didn't need AI targeting. It used manual turrets, infrared scopes, dumb missiles, and rotating cannons with meat behind the trigger. It tore through the raiders like paper. On day 3, the Koran slavers launched a surgical drop operation to reclaim the planet for themselves. They never made it past the atmosphere. The humans had wired high-altitude EMP mines that exploded in silence, shorting out every ship within range. By day 5, the planet was stable. Velcris citizens were back in shelters with food, air, and working communications, all running on human backup systems. When the Council sent a recon vessel, they were stunned. The Aegis still lay dormant, silent, and cold. But the planet was safe, protected not by galactic brilliance, but human stubbornness. Captain Rourke stood at the makeshift command tent, sipping coffee. A Varnic engineer approached her, bristling with curiosity. "Your systems are so primitive. How did they resist the assaults?" She smiled. "We don't rely on perfection. We plan for failure." "But why not fix the Aegis?" "Because while you were trying to talk to your AI gods, people were dying. We don't wait. We act." In the months that followed, the Galactic Council reevaluated everything. Humanity was no longer mocked. Their backward systems were suddenly considered robust, field-resilient, and low-failure tolerant. Earth was invited to lead a new division, rapid response engineering. But for humans, it wasn't a revolution. It was just how they'd always done things. Build things that work. Plan for disaster. Trust people, not just machines. And when the galaxy's best tech failed, humanity didn't hesitate. They took action.